So everything in this car is controlled pretty much through the touchscreen. As you can see, it's quite large and takes up most of the dash. Now what you can use, there's a couple of features on this car that's different from the outgoing model. So for example, if you want to change gear, you can go down for drive, all the way up for forward, and then in the middle of P for park. You can control things like your bonnet, your boot, etc. And the graphics are good and quite a fast response rate. And I like the fact they've updated the model on the car to represent the new, facelift of the Model 3. And this one's matching with the right wheels in the right colour, which is quite cool to see. Now, everything's takes a couple of seconds to get used to. You've got the bottom right here for the car controls, change things like your wipers, for example, your lights if you want to put them on, auto, whatever it may be, change your steering wheel controls, whatever else as well, like that, down just below, and then the mirror and things like that as well. Now, into dynamics is where the new modes are. So we've got acceleration, chill, standard, and now we've got an insane mode, as well as your ride and handling. You can change between standard or sport, and then the steering weight you can change as well. Now, when you're in track mode, it allows you to change the bias of the vehicle to the front or rear, and that's really just affecting the throttle input of the vehicle. It's not changing it from front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, but yeah, it is greyed out in this model today, so I can't actually change it to show you, but that's where it would be. Now, there is also things as well like auto shift park, which is a beta test here as well on this model today. I won't go through everything on the screen, but it's fast and responsive, and the main thing is you can control things like, where you want the airflow to be at a touch of a button, front and rear, which is new for the rear end. You've got the 8-inch screen back there, and then there's a dog mode as well, which is quite cool if you've got a dog in the car on a hot sunny day or a cool day like today. Now, there's things like you can do your cameras, and then there's little cool bits like we've seen in other models, is like this arcade mode here. We can do Mars, the Santa mode, which I quite like, the Rainbow Road, which I think is quite fun when you're out there driving along the roads. So you can jump between, theatre, arcade, toy box to entertain yourself, for example, if you're sitting there charging and you want to do something. But yeah, I quite like the Rainbow Road when you're driving. And then this Santa one's quite fun, so you can do this little toggle up here, or if I say in the voice command, ho ho ho, we now have that Santa mode engaged. So that kind of adds on this little Easter egg. Now, what I did notice as well in this car is, you see it's the Model 3 Highland, like the facelift model here, but when you change it into this Jingle All the Way, it changes it back to the old Model 3 with the headlights there. So that's a little bit I noticed there. Yeah, they've not updated that, unfortunately, for the new facelift model, but yeah, there's Mars if you want to add that into the background to pretend you're driving in a Mars and you might be a wee Mars rover or something. Yeah, it's a little fun kind of Easter egg, but yeah, turn that guy off. Sketch pads again, the romance fire if you want to get warm, and then the emissions as well. Quite a lot of things you can do in the car, just entertain yourself with Easter eggs, and I guess that's what people like about their Tesla models. The light show again if you want to do a little bit of fun outside, and then there's your noises for lock sound, horn. So over on the right, we do have a larger door release button than we have seen on the previous facelift. Like so, opens, and then there's the manual release there. If you ever have to manually open the door, you can do that like so. Now, one little annoyance in this car is, well, actually isn't an annoyance, I just noticed again they've not updated the graphic there for the new Model 3. But if you're in here and say, for example, I want to put the ambient lights on, let's just put the brightness up, change the colour you want. I've got it on red. What's been happening every time I get in this car, it defaults to back to night only, and I have to turn it on each time. Same thing for the driving modes, like your insane mode or whatever. It just defaults back to whatever the default presettings are, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, it's quite easy to use. You can touch up here like so to see your range. So we've got 222 miles out of 73%. So the efficiency and range in the Tesla Model 3 is pretty impressive. Now, these are the Model 3 performance seats. They have been upgraded and changed over the outgoing model. As you can see, a little bit more bolstering, a little bit of a different design up the top. We do have the kind of performance warp drive looking emblem in the centre of the seat, and we have this kind of grey piping on the side of the seat here. Now they are made of this like eco-friendly recycled material, so they're not close to leather, kind of plasticky feeling. But yeah, if you're into that kind of vegan leather vibe, it's going to be suitable for you. And one of the changes as well are these seats are heated and cooled, so they're now perforated to allow cooling, which you can do at touch of a button on the screen as well. When I bring that up, you can go in here and you can put the cooled seat on, and same as the heating. Both have got free stage, which is a nice touch. Now we do have two wireless phone chargers here, which have got a bit of felt kind of material on them, which is nice. And the key card, if you're using that, can go there as well to get the car on. We do have a decent sized bin in here with the 12-volt power outlet, a little bit of light and felt, which is nice to touch. Now behind here we do have cup holders, however this car, it is broken and I just do not want to lift it off and push that back and it gets jammed. But yeah, you can kind of see behind there is where the cup holders would be. Just yeah, I'm not touching it on this car and getting blamed for anything. And then underneath we do have a little bit of storage with a light and a decent sized cubby, which is pretty similar to what you've seen on the outgoing model. It's just the cup holder now has a tray that wasn't there on the previous model. And then we do have the glove box. Touch a button on the screen, that pulls down the glove box. It is Limes the Fuzzy stuff, quite narrow, but it does go quite far back at least, and you can just touch that there on the screen. So when you're in the back of the Tesla Model 3, you can use this little 8-inch touchscreen. Now I can put things on like the heated seats, which is nice, and you can also control the passenger seat here, so I can slide that forward, which is nice if you want a little bit more leg room. Or for example, if you were chauffeuring, you could pull that all the way forward and maybe use it like an Uber or some sort of taxi service and have a little bit extra leg room, which is quite a neat touch to be able to control that. So I think that's quite good. Overall back here it's good leg room, foot room, because it's a flat floor in the middle. You can have free abreast, no bother. We do have those USB chargers down here. There is nothing in the seat backs, however, but we do have door bins lined with the fuzzy stuff. And in the door card there we do have a little bit of carpet lifts up with a little pull tab in there for emergencies. So for the centre armrest, you just pull it down on top of the headrest here. That slides down like so. We've got two cup holders here, they're rubberised, silver trim, black accent around it. There is no storage in the middle, but that's made of the same seat material like so, and there's no ski-through hatch like that, so you would need to fold that down individually with the touch of the buttons on the inside to split the seats down. And then we do have the child seat anchors up top here, and the cargo cover net actually is kind of soft touch as well. It's got a nice wee kind of fibrous material to it that's soft. Now sitting behind the passenger, we've got these little lights up here. We've got a little hook like so to hang your shirt or something like that on a business trip. But overall, got good greenhouse glass all around, and yeah, the big structural bar up here isn't too intrusive. Now I am 5'11". I've got a couple of inches of headroom there. Can slouch back a little bit if needed, but it's not the most headroom back here. Definitely get a Model Y if you're planning on carrying tall passengers regularly. However, it's fine, you know, I can get a little bit of room back here. Just the glass panel can really feel the cold coming through from up there. But yeah, overall not too bad. Shoulder room, and as I said, knee room and leg room is fantastic in this car.